Real quickly, just to reiterate what I mentioned before, was Section 125 is an area of the tax code that businesses take advantage of routinely, been around for decades, and basically 125 is used by companies to pre-tax employee benefits. Now there's other elements to it, but that's the primary element, okay? So generally, for example, one of the big selling points by Aflac when they go into a company is they can present their benefits to the company's employees. On a voluntary basis, the employees can take advantage of Aflac, but whoever does take advantage of those benefits, they can pre-tax them in a Section 125, which is called a cafeteria plan. So you may have heard that if you've worked for a company. And the beauty of the cafeteria plan is that when the company gets to pre-tax the benefits they're not paying for, they save in payroll taxes. It's not a ton, but it adds up, especially if you have a lot of employees who are taking advantage of benefits. The beauty for the employee is they get to buy these benefits, these supplementary health benefits, on a pre-tax basis. So Uncle Sam is not involved, they get bang for their buck that way. Everybody wins on a cafeteria plan, but it's pennies on the dollar. This particular company we connected with, fortunately, they're national, they're called Affordicare, and they came out with what they call the CHAMP plan. And basically, it's taking a Section 125 and expanding it legally to give better benefits to the employee and much greater pre-tax basis for the employee and the employer. So just to give you an idea, in a relatively short period of time, in the last several years, since they came out with the CHAMP plan, these are the companies amongst many that they have sold. So they've got Amazon's employees and ADP's, and you know, it's a who's who of known names that have been around forever. Basically, when they approached these companies and eventually got to a decision maker, whether it's in the HR department or it's the CFO or the CEO, at the end of the day, the average savings to the company and the employee is about $2,000 a month per employee. So it's significant, and now if they self-insure, the savings is even greater. So we have a company we just presented that has roughly 14,000 employees. They self-insure on the health insurance side, and which they can help as well. Affordicare can help on the health side as well. With the pre-taxed 125 program, it's going to save them over $40 million a year. And this company had just laid off 600 people. Wow. And they are desperately looking for ways to save money. This is a no-brainer way for companies to save money. The great part about this is what it does for the employee as well, not just save money. They also are one of the major sponsors at Dallas Cowboy Stadium. So they're a serious player, and serious companies are using them. The beauty of it is, none of us here are companies with thousands of employees. We might not even know anybody who owns a company that has thousands of employees. But this program will be applicable for anybody who has 5 or more employees. So the same exact dynamics I'm going to give you mathematically will be the same for a company of 5 as it is for a company of 5,000 or 50,000. Amazon 60,000. So just these are just basic testimonials from, different companies. This is a $450 million software analytics company from the CFO. Basically, we just did a presentation. One of my sales reps did a presentation yesterday for one of his companies through the Affordicare people. And it was with the CFO, and she goes, I want this for me. Why would we not do this? And he goes, well, exactly. Once we present it, the only real objection is it sounds too good to be true, which it isn't. It just is what it is. So basically, it provides pre-tax benefits under Section 125. Company receives a net fixed savings of $573.60 per employee per year if they're not dealing with their health. Whatever health insurance they have, they don't have to change. They can keep it. It's seamless. Or if they want to shop their health, they can help you shop your health as well. But bottom line is, the net savings is guaranteed of $573 an employee. So for a company that's got 100 employees, multiply that by 573, that's the minimum guaranteed savings they're going to get on every employee. Okay? Increases employees' net pay by an average of $1,500 a year. So the benefit is in both directions. The employee saves roughly $1,500 a year on his or her net pay, and the employer saves $573.60 to be exact per employee per year, just on their basic setup. Okay, and then this is all W-2 employees. Now, the package, I'm not going to go through all of these. It's just too difficult. They have analytics that prove everything, right? So, but this is what the employee gets with this program. The employee will get 0 co-pays now for all their doctors, which their primary doctors, which and it doesn't matter what health plan they have. So it just supplements most health plans, you've got a $40 to $70 copay. Okay, so or some health plans, no code. You have a deductible. Your primary care doctor, urgent care visits, 0 copay, and that's for your whole family. 0 copay on prescription drugs for the employee plus family on the formulary drugs. Again, this could be a gigantic savings. Unlimited telemedicine at no copay. Some telemedicine has no copay. A lot of telemedicine, you're paying $35 per telemedicine visit. And then there's a couple of other things in there. But the way this works fundamentally is each employee gets an app. Everybody's familiar with Noom, right? The advertisement Noom, N-O-O-M, which is really kind of clever because it's basically you get an app on how to lose weight. And it's a psychological path to tracking what you're eating and why you're eating it. Okay? They have an app for each employee, and each employee can self-design what they want to do. Lose weight, quit smoking, just be healthier. Maybe an exercise program, etc. Each month, the employee is required to do 5 to 7 minutes on that app for themselves. By doing that, they create a billing of $1,400, and it's all designed out. But with the CPT codes are the codes that the industry sets for all services. Doctor visits, preventative medicine, everything has a code in the industry, in the health industry. And so by the employee doing that interactive 5 to 7 minutes, they're doing $1,400 of billing, which gets $1,200 of it gets pre-taxed on their payroll. So you think, well, why would an employee give up $1,200? Because $1,130 of it's gets dumped back into their paycheck. Only that's been pre-taxed. Now, there's a net difference of $70 that goes to Affordicare that pays for all of this. But their tax savings nets them roughly $125 a month. Okay? So it's a very clever, and this is the billing, and these are the codes, and this is, health risk assessment, visit with a telemedic, whatever that employee did, it tracks it. But it guarantees the employee is going to run up some billing on a preventative basis, if nothing more, just by doing their 5 to 7 minutes. If the employee does not do it, after about 3 months, they can be kicked off the plan. They lose the benefits, they lose everything. Simple as that. Amazon's employees have no problem doing this. It's very interactive, they love it. Every company that has this, there's no turnover. The employees love it. For 2 reasons. It's interactive like new, so it helps them. But the second and biggest reason is it just turns their health care into mostly zero copays, which is pretty significant for families. Okay? So in this shows, you're taking a average gross pay of $5,000, you take out $1,200, and you dump back in $1,130, and the net effect, this is just a proof that if somebody wants to sit and look through the numbers, the net effect is a net take home of a positive $125 to the employee. Okay? And that kind of walks you through it a little bit. And that's a company with 150 employees. Their potential impact was $419,000. It was an actual client. They were saving $419,000 a year, and their employees were getting better benefits. Believe me, what the founder of this company said to us was, our only real objection is it sounds too good to be true. That's kind of a nice place to be if that's your only real objection. The bottom line is, my feeling is for most companies, that CFO is probably thinking, is this a hassle to get everybody up and running? That's probably my thinking, their real objection. Because too good to be true, you can overcome that just by looking at all the companies that are taking advantage of it. Like I said, that company that we pitched is a car manufacturer, 14,000 employees. And as soon as the owner on the phone to the gal that is our contact said, well, we just signed up Tesla. And my Tesla contact would be happy to get on the phone with you to explain why Tesla's going with this. Kind of takes the too good to be true out the window and proves that companies do this and why they do this as very real and applicable, financial reasons. The real issue is it difficult to set up for a company? Is it a hassle? Do you have to learn something, from a financial standpoint or a tracking standpoint? No, they're seamless. The company does it, they set up the employees, it's all tutorial based, it's very millennial. Okay? That doesn't mean employees like me can't do this as well. It'd just be tougher for me. So for some of us in here who are less computer literate than others, or less interactive with their web presence, it doesn't matter. They're very seamless. They can upload right now about 250,000 lives a month in terms of getting them online and operational, each and every employee. So that's the least of my worries. If you refer me a client, and here's the other cool thing, we will pay $1 a life, month in and month out, year in and year out, and they have very little turnover. So the larger the company the more, the quicker you should be giving me that lead. And the best part about it is, all I'm going to do is say to that person, I'm going to have somebody from Affordicare walk you through it. ask for the information they're going to need from you, give you exact numbers, and they'll set you up. I don't have to do that. So it's not on you, it's not on me, it's on them. And what they're doing for me is all of their agents, they have about 26,000 agents nationwide through brokerages, some that work for a brokerage, some that work directly for Affordicare. They're going to refer their R&D to me. So I get their R&D, I give them their champ plan. It's a beautiful marriage for both my ventures. And I love this because Crystal and I used to, well, Crystal still does, but I used to have health plans for less as my primary business. And one of the great things about health insurance is residual income. And you don't have to resell somebody. As long as they stay on the books, you're making your money every month. Well, that's the way this is. So if I make $2 or $3 a life, and my goal is to get 10,000 lives in the next 12 months. Now I could get it all in one client, obviously, but I'm not counting on that. I'm counting on 50 and 25 and 150, and it'll just add up with all my agents. So we're already starting to see that groundswell where all my agents are referring business to them and vice versa. It's very, very cool. It doesn't mean, and the other thing too is if once I talk to that company, I'm going to look at their R&D proposition as well and say, hey, you might qualify. Do you want us to look at that? And so, we can double dip. I pay a referral fee, 5% of the total fee to the referrer. So, I mean, this is something you can refer me quite easily. It's just, and everybody qualifies. Again, if they have 5 W-2 employees or more, they qualify. Obviously, we're going to run faster to a much larger company because there's a lot more to do, and it's a lot more profitable for all of us. And these are just examples of savings. This is another company that was at 212,000 savings.
Isn't that million?
Or was that million? Oh, that is million.
Wow.
No. Oh, that is. Yeah. So this is a company with 76,000 employees. Oh, this is probably Amazon. So that was their impact. So that's why these companies are jumping on this. Smaller companies should too. There's no reason why a smaller company shouldn't get their same exact percentage of benefit depending on the number of employees they have. No reason whatsoever. Okay, so I'll stop there. Any questions? I understand the 125, by the way. I understand what they were doing once they presented it to me immediately. The reason why is we set up a lot of 125s in my health insurance business for all the ancillary benefits that we sold the companies or that other people sold our business owners. And any questions? Yeah.
What's the best thing to say to the CEO of a company to get them interested?
Okay, that's why I gave you that flyer. So just give them the flyer and say, give us a call. Yeah.
Who does the actual setup for the app and for the employees? So I can see that can be a challenge, right? If they don't have an HR person or getting all the employees on Zoom or in a meeting, right?
They do everything.
They do everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually very seamless. And the employees, believe me, employees don't go, oh, you gotta be kidding, this is one more thing I have to do. They don't do that if they're getting zero co-pays on most of their stuff. There is a significant motivation for an employee to do very, very little. They have to get their app up and running, and they have to utilize that app, which takes 5 to 7 minutes per employee once a month. That's it. So we're doing it for our company. We're giving over our stuff because we have 10 employees. So it's kind of a no-brainer for us. And I'm glad to give my employees better benefits.
But these employees have to be W-2. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What about employees who aren't W-2?
Well, they're not employees.
So if we have a partnership, and how does that play out?
Well, you mean whether the partners would be able to take advantage of it or not? They own the corporation?
Yes.
Yeah, well, then they're officers, then it's different.
So they don't qualify.
No, they would.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so honestly, guys, I hope you take advantage of this. We're going to take advantage of this in a huge way. This is an easy referral for me, and an easy referral from me to them. Their referrals of R&D is a little more difficult back to me, because it's a more difficult topic to address with any kind of knowledge. This is not. This is quite simple. So, all right, thanks a lot.